So let's get into looking at some of the stuff that everybody's been debating about this entire time. We've all been waiting for the expanded strategy definitions to come out. There was a lot of speculation on what some of this stuff was. I can tell you I was definitely wrong on Echo. I thought it was going to be some type of you get to reuse a specific type of card over again. Come to find out, they came up with something even better. As far as Echo goes, let's get it pulled up right here. As far as that goes, like it says, you'll play a card and you'll get a new card into your hand that is linked to the specific card that you've just played. It'll only cost 1 mana to play. It'll have 1 health and 1 strength. So I guess it's like, hey, here's a Hail Mary just in case. I thought that it was perhaps going to be something along the lines of, I don't know, just a repeater spell, kind of like what we see in the game that shall not be named. As far as that goes, I don't really see any downside to it outside of you may not have the mana to play the Echo card once given that card. But, I mean, that's on you and your game type and your strategy to figure out. The next ability we have is Empower. And it's pretty straightforward. You can pay more and get better buffers. So, like I said, pretty straightforward, pretty easily. You either pay 1 for the mana cost of the card, you get a 2/2, or you can pay 2 on top of that 1. So it'd be 3 cost total, and you get a 3/3 creature. It's really up to you. Seems pretty straightforward. I don't really see a way that this specific term is going to be exploited too badly. Now, as far as Tempt Fate goes, there was a lot of debate over what exactly that was going to be. Was it going to be a roll the dice and you just didn't get the card if you lost? Well, they came up with something a little bit better. As far as Tempt Fate goes, you basically play your card. You have the option to take the buff that it gives you, or you can roll the dice and hope that fate is with you, and you get 2 buffers instead. Now, the problem with that is when you take the risk and you roll, you automatically lose that first buffer if you don't get the second one. So it's a take it or leave it kind of thing. There's a bunch of new cards out that I'm super excited about. I'm going to pull a couple of these up because they're right here on the display and we don't really have to go looking for anything. First up on my list of stuff that I love would be this Land of the Dead. Select up to 6 1-mana Anubians from your void and summon them to your board. It's a 5 cost. It's not bad. I mean, it works great as a Hail Mary for a death deck. If you're running a straight Anubian deck, you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're like me and you only play 1 or 2, this card's probably not going to be very helpful. But it is making me more inclined to want to put together an Anubian deck. So there's that. I'm more of a Deception and War deck kind of person. I do screw around a little bit with some nature every now and then, but I tend to not fix what isn't broken, and that's how my nature deck is. It is OP, it is beautiful, and I don't really look for new cards that could help it because it could be more detrimental to my deck setup than anything. The next one that I really like is this Alastrema Prime Refactor. Reduce mana cost of cards in your hand by 1, or I can pay 7 total and do the entire thing for my deck. That is just going to add more OP-ness to already OP Magic decks. Like, I'm glad that this is a legendary because it limits severely the ability to just see this card become toxic at its very worst. Now, this Beguiling Blade, I absolutely love. Roar, steal 1 strength from the strongest enemy creature. That can come in handy and make or break a game sometimes. I've played several today alone that it's literally been by a point or two that the match was decided. Another good one is Commander Pyros. Absolutely love this card. Friendly creature gets damaged, give it +1/+1. Hey, I'm all about it. Buff a creature when it gets hurt, play medic. It's cool. And then the last one on my list is definitely going to have to be this Pyro Shaper. Empower for 4, deal 2 damage to each other creature. Now, if you don't have any creatures on the board, this one can work out into your favor quite well. I can see multiple situations where I'm playing against a nature deck or even a small war deck, and they've got a bunch of 2/2 creatures out on the field, or 3/2s and 4/2s, whatever have you, and I throw this out there, 6 damage or 6 mana, and I've just wiped them all out, and there's no damage cap. It's 2 per creature. It's not 8 divided. It's not 6-1. It's straight across the board, which is great. And I really like this. I didn't see this one earlier when I was looking. The Smut Bearer of Burdens. It's when this creature enters the board, give +1 strength to your other creatures. It's a 1 cost. I mean, pull this out halfway through the game, and you've got a couple of 5/6 creatures on the field. You buff them for 1 extra. That could be the difference between the game being won and, you losing. Oh, yeah. And then Unbound Flames. Yet another OP magic card. Empower for 2, deal 5 damage to each creature. I can definitely see Unbound Flames getting buffed. Or, I'm sorry, getting nerfed before this expansion is locked. Like, that empowerment cost is either going to have to go up another 2 probably for that. Because I don't see somebody paying 5 damage to deal 5. That's not horrible. But paying 2 more to deal 5 damage to every creature on the field, that's a little OP. But you want to talk about extremely OP, we have Omox the Mad. Now this is the only mythic rare card coming out with this expansion. There is only one. You have the option and ability to pull it in any card pack. So it doesn't have to be a legendary card pack. It just has to be an Immortal Judgement card pack. Mythic can be found by anyone. Yeah, and see, it says it right here. The mythic can be found by anyone having the chance to drop in any Mortal Judgment pack. Now, it does also have the Spitfire Dragon, which I think is absolutely adorable. I love me some chubby, greedy dragons. Roar, if you have 8 or more cards in hand, give this creature +5/+5 frontline, and can't attack. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't really often get to 8 cards in hand, so I don't really see that affecting me too much, but I would much rather put this in a war deck and put it with that treasure chest that gives you +5/+5 in 1 burn. Like, I can see that working out a lot better than not being able to attack with this creature. But he is a super cute chubby dragon, so eventually, once Omox is found, this mythic will drop into the card packs and become discoverable. And it'll be the same thing as with Omox, that you can get it in any Mortal Judgment pack. And, I mean, yeah, definitely if you come across this Spitfire, I already know I'm not going to be able to afford Omox the Mad off of anybody, but you guys come to find me when you guys find a Spitfire, and I will buy your chubby dragon from you. No problems, no questions asked. But yeah, that's really all that I see going on today as far as the expansion and news and updates for Gods Unchained. I still have stitches in my jaw, so I apologize if it sounds a little slurred. I promise you I'm not drunk, and if I was, believe me, you'd know. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. You guys have a great night.